Holy crap, it's April already.
And tomorrow is Easter.
And that must mean it's springtime. I should go see what it looks like outside.
Wow, I can't wait to see what it looks like. Man, it's gonna be really cool and...
Well, that's unfortunate.
Hey everybody. Now, my Easter may not be going as well as I may have hoped, but with any luck, people all around the world are experiencing proper Easter celebrations, hopefully without snow. Easter has always had an interesting dichotomy, strangely split between the resurrection of Christ and the commemoration of spring. Where in the annals of history did we get a holiday devoted to rabbits, eggs, and Jesus Christ? Let's look into that right now with the history of Easter. In order to understand the beginnings of Easter, we have to go back to the events leading up to it. According to the Bible, Jesus was a very popular figure in his time, so much so that when he entered the holy city of Jerusalem with his disciples, citizens laid out palm branches in his path. This event is remembered as Palm Sunday. However, this pissed off the Romans to a considerable degree. During the week, Jesus was having a good meal with his disciples when he predicted that he'd be betrayed by one of them. This is fittingly called the Last Supper, because that's exactly what it was. For Jesus, that is. The other disciples probably had a lot more suppers. And sure enough, Jesus' prediction turned out to be 100% correct, as he was arrested right after he finished eating. He then found out that his betrayal was orchestrated by none other than Judas Iscariot, who sold him out for a whopping 30 pieces of silver. Jesus gets put on trial, and a Roman named Pontius Pilate decides to sentence him to death. Jesus gets crucified, which at the time was actually considered to be a common punishment, and dies on Good Friday. He's buried, and he stays as such for the entirety of Holy Saturday. However, when people come to check on him the next day, he's nowhere to be found. Jesus had officially risen from the grave, and Easter was invented. From this point onward, Easter was a wholly religious holiday, like pretty much everything else at that time. However, like every other holiday I've talked about so far, it would soon become merged with something else. The fact that Jesus' ascension occurred during the spring was pretty much a coincidence, but it was a fortuitous twist of fate nonetheless. Many pagan celebrations of spring were set around the same time as Easter, and interestingly enough, the ideas of rebirth and life were similar ideas shared between them. Many cultures held spring as a representation of the revitalization of Earth, in the same way that Easter commemorates the resurrection of Christ, and the ever-industrious church saw fit to combine the two ideas. Still, the presence of eggs and rabbits in the celebration may seem a little out of place at this point, but they too were important symbols of rebirth. The egg is pretty straightforward. Chicken lays egg becomes baby, life is created. Boom. The fact that eggs are generally laid during the spring just compounds it. The rabbit, however, has a more complex reason behind it. You see, baby rabbits are born with their eyes open, fully developed. A traditionally held belief was that rabbits slept with their eyes open as well, meaning they were awake since birth. The rabbit thusly came to represent eternal life. Couple this with the fact that rabbits are known for, you know what rabbits are known for, and you have two of the most enduring symbols of Easter. The split personalities of Easter come together with the origin of the official Easter mascot, the Easter Bunny. Although the exact origin point of the Easter Bunny is currently unknown, the prevailing theory is that it's derived from a combination of religious Easter history and traditional agrarian routines. During medieval times, the week before Easter was generally when landlords collected their dues from farmers who had been working the land for the business year prior. Due to the fact that Lent required all Christians to fast for the previous month, farmers often had large piles of eggs, along with hares that they had killed while farming, as one often does. Because this was the Middle Ages, it was acceptable for farmers to pay off their debts with the aforementioned eggs and hares. The iconic duo slowly became ingrained as a symbol of Easter, and several centuries down the line, the idea emerged to tell children that the eggs were delivered by the hares or rabbits themselves. Now, considering the fact that the hares had actually been killed, this is a bit weird, but hey, it's history. The idea of the bunny is theorized to have originated in Germany, after which point it made its way around the world through immigration and cultural diffusion. The idea of decorating the eggs supposedly delivered by the rabbit is believed to have come from an ancient Christian tradition in which the egg was said to symbolize the empty tomb of Jesus Christ, and they were dyed red to symbolize the blood shed by him. This isn't confirmed though, and many others believe that it was just because people in the Middle Ages weren't allowed to eat the eggs during Lent, and so they just started painting them. Either way, the tradition endures today. Finally, like many other holidays, Easter came to the United States with immigrants around the 18th and 19th centuries, and it has become a popular holiday since. And here we arrive at our modern day. I hope you've all enjoyed hearing about the weird and semi-unrelated events that came together to form a holiday where everybody gets to paint eggs and eat unhealthy food. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go do whatever it is that people do on Easter. Good night, everybody, and happy Easter.